Good early evening, I guess I should say. I would now like to call the meeting to order at 4 p.m. and Yvette will read the language under public content.
Thank you, Madam President. In order to help assure compliance with the Brown Act and in order to make our board meetings more effective and more efficient, trustees will speak only when recognized, and trustees who speak on a topic other than the agenda item currently under consideration will be out of order. Board meeting protocols. The safety and decorum of the Stockton board meetings are important to Stockton Unified School District and the community. SUSD promotes the public's right to free speech, and we want to make sure that all community members, parents, and students are able to participate in a safe environment. We want to ensure all community members have a seat during the board meeting. We will have the maximum number of chairs allowed per fire code, which is 132. We ask that members of the public do not stand along the side of the walls or block the walkway. Anyone standing up during the meeting will be asked to take a seat. If they do not comply, they will be asked to leave. Any accredited news media representative who is standing will have a press credential clearly visible. There is a podium positioned in front of the first row of chairs. No one other than the person who is speaking may be at the podium except for a guardian, administrator, or translator. For safety, people may not line up behind the speaker to wait their turn. We want to give the person at the podium the time and respect they deserve. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Attendees are not allowed to enter that area past the table where board members are sitting. No profanity or obscenity. During the board meeting, if there is a disruption, the board president or designee will give a verbal warning to the person or persons causing the disruption. If the disruption continues after the verbal warning, the individual or individuals will be asked to leave or be removed from the premises for the remainder of the board meeting. After the board meeting is concluded, we ask community to clear the lobby area in a respectful manner. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Yvette. We will now move on to roll call taken by Yvette as well.
Vice President Stevens,
Present.
Clerk Colon,
Present.
Trustee Danair,
Present.
Trustee Mendez,
Present.
Trustee Rico. I know Trustee Rico is not present. Trustee Zulueta. Trustee Zulueta is also not present. President Angeline Flores.
Present.
Thank you. Student Representative Victoria Heron.
She might be coming after.
Thank you. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Yvette. I'm moving on to, we're going to go ahead and table the 1.3 for when we come back so that we can give our student board representative an opportunity to speak then. So we will move on now to item 1.4, the student honoree. And if we can, please ask Miss Marilyn Rizzo Leon, student of Stockton High School. And if we can have Mr. Tommy Morgan, principal, to the podium and mic, please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, SUSD board and guests. My name is Tommy Mogan. I'm the principal at Stockton Alternative High School, just across the street out these windows. Before I introduce my student honoree, I wanted to share a couple successes happening at our school. So far this year, we've made great strides for improving some of our big focus areas to support students. First, enrollment and attendance are both up from this time in the past years and trending to set a new expectation for our site in the future. Students and parents are reacting to some of the small changes we are implementing in an effort to improve student motivation. While we are small and without sports to bolster school spirit, our school pride is continuing to grow. This school-wide positive growth trickles down to students and increases their positive views of the campus and supports them being here every day. We are tackling chronic absenteeism and classes are filling up. We're beginning to have to get specific with enrollments and graduation plans with higher enrollment numbers, which is a great challenge to have. Next, our school culture has made some great gains already this year. After being awarded the Ramus grant, our site decided to empower the students in the decision-making process so the space can be created for students by students. I'm also happy to share that we are in the process of partnering with Home Depot to create an outdoor student space. The space, appropriately named by students Tarzan Territory, will be for students only and supports research that aligns to outdoor spaces, lowering levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. In addition to site projects, we have our highest interest in enrollment in Delta Do enrollment classes to date. We're also supporting student goals by offering site-based presentations from postgraduate industries from within our community partnerships, as well as finding field trips to expose our students to real-world work experiences. The students of Stockton High are often students who didn't feel successful at their comprehensive high schools. Either the site felt too big, they felt lost in the crowd, or they just needed a fresh start. Stockton High exists to catch these students before they fall and give them a small learning environment, caring and attentive adults, and a staff who will literally do anything to push them towards graduation and onward. One of our student success stories is here tonight. She was in need of a space where she could have the time she needed with content rather than a calendar or pacing guide dictating how long she has to understand a new concept. She had plans in the future to become an ultrasound tech or other positions in the medical field to help others. Thankfully, she came to us in time to make those dreams happen and get on track for graduation. She greets every staff member with a smile every morning, and she's probably smiling now. Yep. She knows how to seek out support when she needs it, and she stays focused on her goals for her future. I will let her tell a little more of her story. It is my pleasure to introduce Miss Marilyn Rizzo Leon.
Hello, my name is Marilyn Rizzo. I'm in 11th grade, and today I'll be talking about Stockton High School. I had transferred from Franklin in the beginning of 10th grade. When I got here, I felt very welcomed by everyone, and I can say that during the time I've been here, I learned so much more than I did at my other school. Not that it was bad, but just that I personally always tend to get distracted easily, which was the problem for me there. Here in Stockton High, I'm able to stay focused. What helped me was having that 2 hour and 20 minute of no phone, just only doing work. I was failing almost all my classes, and I'm happy to say I see no F and had gotten out of my last class with an A. Having a quiet space while working by yourself, but knowing there's a teacher to give you help if needed really gives a relief. The requirement of another 2 hours of work at home seems fair to me. Overall, this school is really great, and I'm glad to say I got accepted here. After graduating, I will be studying to hopefully become an ultrasound technician. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon.
Go ahead and stay where you are, Marilyn. And if we can have your principal, and do you have parents here with you? Mom, come on up. And trustee Donald Daenerys is going to come down and get a picture with you. I'm sorry, I was holding on to it, trustee Donald. You're fine. You're good. And then maybe we can have the program in Canada. Someone can get half the day. Here, she can come here, come in front, and I'll talk. Okay.
And I'm wearing heels, so.
Okay, we will now move on to recognition for Pacific Law Academy and Stockton Early College Academy, known as SECA, for making the U.S. News and World Reports in the top school rankings. If we can have, I just know you as Ty, so come on up, Ty. Say something, yeah.
First, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the board, superintendent, and the cabinet and support staff for having me here tonight. It is a real pleasure to be recognized for the hard work of SECA staff and of their students. This is the first time that we've ever been ranked in the top 1% in the nation, and that was quite an accomplishment that we really shared and celebrated at our school. But what I'd like to say is that it is really, I think, a result of our culture that we've created to support the students, not only in their academics, but in making sure that they're looking out right for themselves and for each other, and that they're involved in things besides the academics that get this ranking. So whether it's school events or our Friday Night Live Club, who's now been recognized statewide for their mental health measures, or the students that work hard and play sports for their home schools, making sure that they're those well-balanced, rounded individuals that are going to go on to be successful. They tease us a little bit about just getting the smart kids, and we get them all. They represent Stockton Unified. They represent our neighborhood demographics. They come in several grade levels below sometimes of what the standards require, and they all graduate, move on to four-year schools, and do incredibly well. And I think that, again, is a tribute to our parents, our district, my staff, our students, and the community at large. So I really appreciate the recognition. Thank you.
So with that being said, on behalf of the Stockton Unified School District, we congratulate and commend SECA for earning its third consecutive gold ranking as one of the best high schools as far as college readiness, first in the metro area and 18th in the California high schools. And if we can call Mr. Martinez up to the podium now. And on behalf of the Stockton Unified School District, we congratulate and commend PLA for receiving gold ranks as one of the top high schools and number 3 in the metro area high schools. Congratulations, Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, Board President Flores, Board Trustees, and Superintendent Dr. Rodriguez. We first of all would like to thank you for all the support that you've given to PLA family, especially through the pandemic. It was tough times for us. And then we also looked at our, our registration. We're a dependent charter, so we wanted to make sure that we were building off of the pandemic. So here's a little bit of what we were able to do. Not only did we achieve this for the first time, I don't believe we've ever received a gold ranking, but last year, 2 of our students were accepted to top universities, one to Stanford and one to UCLA. So we look forward to your continued support as we continue to build our culture and build that culture of success. And also, SECA is right in front of us, so we know where the target is. Thank you very much.
Come back, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez, go ahead.
Come back up. And our student board representative is here now, so I would like to go ahead and go back to item 1.3. And we now are ready for the report by Ms. Victoria Heron.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay. Sorry, I was a little late, but for Franklin, I'm just gonna be doing the celebrations for the high schools, and I received celebrations from Franklin, Stagg, and Edison. Franklin, Mr. Viramontes was recently inducted into the Mexican American Hall of Fame in recognition for his distinguished achieving in education. He is a respected and honored member of our community for past and current generations of Franklin alumni. We appreciate his hard work and dedication at Franklin and in our community. He's a really good teacher. He's a great person. Plus started student forums. I had one today. Teachers and students are being recognized for attendance monthly via PBIS monthly assemblies. Franklin is kicking off homecoming week with the Spirit Week this week. Leadership students are joining other district leadership students for training in Sacramento next week. And then in Stagg, on Wednesday, September 13th, was the exciting Stagg groundbreaking ceremony for the barn that will become part of the Stagg Agricultural Department. The week of 9/18 through 9/22 was the Stagg homecoming week, with Wednesday as the student rally. Friday before the varsity football game was the tailgate party. Stagg beat Western Ranch for the game. Coronation of the Stagg homecoming king, Luis Nolasco, and Queen Jamila Farms homecoming dance that culminated this week's activities. Stagg hosted an extremely successful parent coffee hour and academic conferences on 9/14. Stagg has been celebrating students with gift giveaways for positive attendance and positive behaviors. Plus, surveys were distributed and filled out by students last week. This Friday, 9/29, Stagg will host a club rush during the lunchtime, opportunity for clubs to recruit new members and make money for their clubs. And lastly, for Edison athletics are off to a great start and are in first place in 5 out of 6 programs. Our journalism students released their first issue of the Vikings newspaper and got tons of positive reviews. And we would like to celebrate our senior and JROTC student, Juan Roman. He has sworn into the United States Army Reserves as a 9-1B vehicle mechanic.
Thank you. And we will now move on to item 1.6, oral suggestions, and Abby will announce the number of public comments and request each person to provide their public comment in the order they were received. And Christina will be the timekeeper. Do we have any public comments?
Trustees, as of this very moment, I have not received any public comment cards for item 1.6. Thank you.
Thank you. And item 1.7, Doug, do we have any cases that we would like to hear in public session?
There are no requests to be heard in open session, President Flores.
Thank you. Moving on to item 1.8, the board will consider in closed session items listed in closed session by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Thank you, President Flores. In closed session, the board will consider item 2.1A, public employee appointment, certificated leave of absence, resignation, retirement, and appointment. 2.2A, public employee appointment, classified leave of absence, resignation, retirement, rescind employment offer, and appointment. 2.3A, public employee appointment, professional expert coaches appointment. 2.4A, public employee discipline, dismissal, and release. 2.5, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, name of case, TP versus SUSD, San Joaquin Superior Court, case number STK CVUOE 2022-11302, and name of case, student versus Stockton Unified, OAH, case number 2023040926, and LJ versus Stockton Unified, San Joaquin Superior Court, case number STK CVUWT 2021-10474. Those are all matters that will be considered in closed session. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you. We will now go ahead and recess to closed session at 4:20. President to return to the dais. And so we will call the meeting back into public session at 5:30. And Yvette will now read the language under public content.
Thank you, Madam President. In order to help assure compliance with the Brown Act and in order to make our board meetings more effective and more efficient, trustees will speak only when recognized, and trustees who speak on a topic other than that agenda item currently under consideration will be out of order. Board meeting protocols. The safety and decorum of the school board meetings are important to Stockton Unified School District and the community. SUSD promotes the public's right to free speech, and we want to make sure that all community members, parents, and students are able to participate in a safe environment. We want to ensure all community members have a seat during the board meeting. We will have the maximum number of chairs allowed per fire code, which is 132. We ask that members of the public do not stand along the side of walls or block the walkway. Anyone standing up during the meeting will be asked to take a seat. If they do not comply, they will be asked to leave. Any accredited news media representative who is standing will have a press credential clearly visible. There is a podium positioned in front of the first row of chairs. No one other than the person who is speaking may be at the podium except for a guardian, administrator, or translator. For safety, people may not line up behind that speaker to wait their turn. We want to give the person at the podium the time and respect they deserve. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Attendees are not allowed to enter the area past the table where the board members are sitting. No profanity or obscenity. During the board meeting, if there is a disruption, the board president or designee will give a verbal warning to the person or persons causing the disruption. If the disruption continues after the verbal warning, the individual or individuals will be asked to leave or be removed from the premises for the remainder of the board meeting. After the meeting is concluded, we ask community to clear the lobby area in a respectful manner. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you. And we will now begin on item 4.1, the Pledge of Allegiance led by Clerk Sophia Colon. Can we all stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At 5:30. Okay, we will now move on to 4.2, which is the recognition of plus students that attended our data and dinner. And I was told that there are some students who were not able to make it today, but we're going to go ahead and mention their name anyways and acknowledge them for showing up.
Can we call up Jillian and Jennifer Robles if they're here? Miss Coleman, Miss Santella. And Miss Iris. If you are here as well.
Okay.
And then I'll have trustee Lanier and trustee Colon. If you want to talk a little bit about data and purpose for. All right, I'm Julie Lindy. I'm the program coordinator for Stockton Unified. The program is peer leaders uniting students. We're students on every one of our campuses who are national leaders on our campus, who are there to do the social emotional work on peer to peer. We are there to do advocacy work, to work on school climate, and to build connections and meaningful participation at our schools. We train our leaders. We train our leaders to be those peers for other peers can come to and recognize them.
Where we had a youth panel to talk about our school climate data from the end of last school year, where they were able to disaggregate and look and dive deeper into some of the questions about what's going on our campuses, to understand some of the issues that are happening, to be able to talk about some of the real truths happening at our school sites, and to have some of those honest conversations about what they would like to see done at some of their schools. We had community conversations, community asked questions, students gave input, our superintendent attended, our assistant superintendents attended. We had our safety coordinator attend as well. And we also had some real great conversations about with our board members as well, to be able to have those conversations about school climate, safety, and bullying, and all of the important topics that our students are experiencing at school. They were brave individuals to get up in front of our community, in front of important people in our district, to have these conversations. And so that's why they're here tonight, to have these conversations, to be recognized for that. So we wanted to thank them. Do you want me to? All right. We also, I'm not going to forget this part. We had a student panel, but we also had an administrator panel where we talked about PBIS, positive behavior interventions and supports, to talk about not only the student pieces to how to address some of the climate issues. We also had an opportunity to address how administrators are setting their schools up for success, and how they're starting to address some of those climate issues themselves. So we were really excited that they were able to attend and have that panel discussion as well. So we want to honor our students who were there. Some of them are not here tonight because they had games. We have a couple who have to leave very shortly for more games. So I'm going to go through this list and we're going to get started. Savannah Dupart is not here tonight because she is with our having volleyball game. She's from Stagg High School. We also have Daniela Ceja with Edison High School. Come on up here.
She's one of my students. I just have to say that.
We have Kalia Brown with Edison High School. Victoria Hernan with Franklin High School. I saw her today. She was super excited. Juanita. Yes, stay on up there. We're going to get pictures. Juanita Schwenker from Franklin High School. Janaya Smith from Chavez High School. Alexander Garcia from Chavez High School. Liliana Ortiz from Chavez High School. And Cody Ayers from Stagg High School. And we look forward to seeing you all at the next one. Thank you for having us.
Ready? Yeah. Okay, we will now move on to item 4.3, which is action taken in closed session by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Thank you, trustee Flores. In closed session, the board motioned to approve item 2.1 with amendment. Motion carried 5-0 with 2 absent trustees being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Board motion to approve item 2.2. Motion carried 4-1 with 2 absent. Yes votes coming from trustees Cologne, Donaire, Mendez, and Stevens. A no vote coming from trustee Flores, and 2 absent being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. The board motion to approve item 2.3, motion carried 5-0 with 2 absent, absent votes being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Board motion to approve dismissal of 1 food service assistant, motion carried 5-0 with 2 being absent, those absent being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. The board motion to approve item 2.4 to release 1 probationary preschool assistant, motion carried 5-0 with 2 being absent, those absent being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Item 2.4, the board motion to approve a 5-day suspension for 1 classified employee. The motion carried 4-0 with 1 abstention and 2 absent. Yes votes coming from trustee Cologne, trustee Donaire, trustee Flores, and trustee Mendez. The abstention coming from trustee Stevens and 2 being absent coming from trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Item 2.4A, board motion to approve dismissal of 1 classified administrator. The motion carried 5-0 with 2 being absent, absent votes being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Board motion to approve item 2.5, a settlement agreement for an educational fund and attorney's fees totaling $11,000. Motion carried 5-0 with 2 being absent, those 2 being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Board motion to approve item 2.5A, motion to approve a settlement agreement in the case of L. Jones versus SUSD, San Joaquin Superior Court, case number STK CV UWT 2021-10474. Motion carried 5-0 with 2 being absent, those absents being trustee Rico and trustee Zulueta. Those are all actions taken in closed session. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you, VP. We will now move on to item 4.4, which is the order of agenda, and Abby will read the oral announcement.
This is the opportunity for the Board of Trustees to make any changes to the order of the agenda. Otherwise, the order of the agenda will be as published. Thank you.
At this time, are any of my colleagues up here would like to take the opportunity to make any changes to the order of the agenda?
No.
I see none, so we will go ahead and motion to approve the order of agenda.
I make the motion to approve the order of agenda.
I'll second. Roll call vote.
Student Representative Victoria Herron,
Absent.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Absent.
trustee Zulueta is a yes. President Flores,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to item 5.1, oral suggestions and comments from the community regarding open session agenda items. And Abby will announce the number of public comments and request each person to provide their public comment in the order they were received. And Christina will be the timekeeper.
Trustees, we have not received any public comment cards for item 5.1. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5.2, oral suggestions and comments from the community regarding non-agenda items. And Abby will announce the number of non-agenda items, public comments, and request each person to provide their public comment in the order they were received. And Christina will be the timekeeper.
Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Trustees, we have 3 comment cards for item 5.2. The first comment card is from Dr. Jean Bigler regarding appointment of Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Good evening, trustees. Dr. Rodriguez, it's a pleasure to be with you. The Coalition of Mexican American Associations, widely known as COMA for over half a century, is a collective body and 501c3 organization governed by the leaders of almost 36 Stockton and San Joaquin County entities and membership groups that serve the Hispanic and Latino people and their interests. My fellow board members have asked me, Dr. Jean Bigler, to make this statement on behalf of the board of COMA about 3 subjects of interest to our organization. The first is our commendation of the Stockton Unified School District decision to appoint a director of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I will briefly describe our interest in this important matter for the community. Second, we are worried about the negative impact of the COVID pandemic has had on the education of our children, and especially about the worsening of linguistic impediments to learning and our fears that they have been inadequate so far. Third, we want to welcome, if a bit belatedly, our new superintendent, Dr. Michelle Rodriguez, to the community and initiate an effort to renew the constructive bridge that COMA has provided for the SUSD community for decades. As a collective organization inspired by the civil rights and farm labor movements, the soul and character of COMA centers on diversity, equity, and inclusion. For almost 1,500 years, our forebears practiced the right to be included, el derecho de pasar, as an integral part of our Hispanic heritage. To this, they added the linguistic, religious, scientific, and cultural richness of their Iberian Latino roots, the many, especially Afro-Caribbean and colonial contributions of our enslaved ancestors, and many of America's indigenous peoples who embraced our community and became part of it. Finally, our New World commitment to the national independence and personal liberty to define who we are in all the communities across the Americas. We pledge our support and collaboration with SUSD efforts to embrace, understand, celebrate, and constructively respond to the tremendous diversity, need for inclusion, and glaring inequities of our community. Families and friends in all our organizations, and several are with me tonight, have expressed consternation over the educational setbacks our children and grandchildren have experienced over the last few years.
I'm sorry, time.
Time
Thank you,
already
sir.
up. Well, we just want to let you know that we're concerned and ready to help you with all the efforts to deal with any inequities caused by the COVID pandemic for our children. Thank you very much. Dr. Rodriguez will get in touch with you soon about a new special event. Thank you.
Next comment card is from Justin Grant regarding funding inequity this year in the visual arts.
Good evening, President, Superintendent, members of the public. I'm Justin Grant. I'm a teacher, been here at the district for 20-something years. I teach art over at Franklin. $10, less than $10. That's how much I got to spend on each student last couple of years. We have to do block prints, art one, but little art block prints. I actually buy big sheets and give myself blisters cutting it down because I get less than $10 to spend. A little bit of watercolor. We don't do ceramics. I've asked the other teachers in the district, other art teachers, last Thursday, $1,500 to $2,000 is what we got last year. There was a new teacher, he teaches his prep. We kind of frown upon that, but he does. 300 students, he gets around $1,500. So he gets about $5 to spend on his students all year. Yeah, mind-boggling. There's no variation for our teachers that do art 2 or 3 or ceramics. There's no formula. There's no transparency. The money actually goes to the music department first, and then they figure something out, but we don't get to know as art department how much they get. I've been honored to be in this STA for many years and on the bargaining team. I've met with the last 6 CBOs. I asked Marcus Battle this a year or so ago. I was like, what's the formula? He says, oh, you have to ask Cindy Wildman. Cindy Wildman says it's not her job to know the formula for the high schools. She's in charge of the younger students. And she actually, I said, I'm going to go to the school board because this is insane. Like less than $10. And I haven't gotten to a point of this year yet. And she said, I said, I'm going to come to the school board. She says, you do. Make sure you talk about it. You need money for this year for your school. But it's not just my school, it's all the high schools. My principal said, we're deficit spending 30 million. I have some real questions about that, but not time to get into it. And we have to cut back. They said they might be able to come up with some money from the IB program. Maybe, possibly, they'll let us know when they figure it out. We're a quarter of the way through the school. First report cards are almost coming out. This year, what I've heard is we might get about $3 per student. 2 years ago, one of my teachers at my site left because she wasn't getting funded. She went to another school district where they have ceramics and they have a kiln and she has supplies. We got 2 new teachers at Franklin and they both should probably leave if they're going to have to survive and teach on $5 a student a year. Now, just spitballing it, $20 would be double last year. That would be huge. Not saying it's best, but it would be huge. We have less than 30 art teachers in the high schools. That'd be $120,000. Agenda items 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, your trips, that's $60,000. You're going to spend 9 days and spend $60,000. We could do 90 days because we're asking for 120. That'd be $20. That again would be huge. And then our district with this deficit spending thing, we need to spend some of the money. You set aside the board last year on June 28th, 2022, $56 million and change because we have too much money. Let's allocate some of that money so we can teach art. Thank you.
Next comment card is from Ms. Sylvia Cantu regarding credit cards.
Board Bylaw 9271 Code of Ethics. Board members are to govern responsibly and hold themselves to the highest standards of ethical conduct in alignment with that of public trust. Board Bylaw 9250 Reimbursement. The rate of reimbursement should not exceed limitations specified for district personnel. This was adopted on May 28, 2015. It was updated on March 9, 2021. That mentions expenses for travel, telephone, business meals, or other authorized purposes shall be in accordance with policy established for district personnel at the same rate of reimbursement. One example of embezzlement is the misuse of corporate credit cards for personal purchases. How does the use of the SUSD credit card by one board member exceed spending by any other board member? Conferences, meals are at $69 a day. How much was spent on meals? And have we checked to see if there's any spending on souvenirs? Did any board member use their credit card not in their area? If so, why? Why would board members have lunch or dinner with constituents when resolution number 1947 was to enforce social distancing and March 12, 2020, Governor of California issued an executive order N2520, which was to cancel large public gathering and to enforce social distancing. From March 26, 2020 to October 26, 2021, board meetings were teleconference. November 9th, 2021 to March 22, 2022, public attended the board meetings telephonically via Zoom. The in-person did not happen until April 12, 2022. SUSD should not spend one penny nor time with the credit card investigation. Instead, there should be an action agenda item to eliminate the use of issuing credit cards to board members and refer to San Joaquin County DA for an investigation on board members' credit card use from December 2nd to 2020 to September 2023. San Joaquin County District Attorney Ron Freitas is investigating any and all wrongdoing past or present at SUSD. Remember, the district credit cards were not revoked. They were voluntarily given. At any time, they can be asked to voluntarily give them back. do like the board members did in 2011. They made an agenda item to make sure this doesn't happen, because this is general fund. I'm not saying anybody's guilty, but there should be an investigation that we should not be paying for it, because I think we paid enough from our schools. So it looks like we don't even have enough for art supplies or anything else. So that's just it. I'm not picking on anyone, but I think what's right is right. Thank you very much.
Trustees, this concludes comment cards for item 5.2. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6.1. Can I get a motion to approve the consent items, and Abby will read the oral announcement.
Does any trustee have any item they would like removed for separate consideration as an action item? After any items are removed for separate consideration, there will be a vote on the consent items without any discussion. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I will make the first motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 7.1, which is a presentation regarding the grand jury response on school site safety. And at this time, I'd like to call up Chief Franco and Marcus Omlin.
Good evening, Board President Flores, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Dr. Rodriguez. I'm here, Myra Franco, Chief of Police for Department of Public Safety, and I'm here with,
Marcus Omlin, Director of Emergency Services and Preparedness.
and so we're here tonight to present to you guys the findings and recommendations by the grand jury on school safety. See if this works.
Is it on?
Oh, is it that way? Oh.
Is it turned on?
Yeah, it turned on. Oh, there it goes. You just have that present for me. We apologize for that, technical difficulties. So the grand jury conducted an assessment into the safety measures at 14 of the public school sites within the San Joaquin County, Stockton Unified being one of them. And with that, we're here tonight to present to you the findings, the recommendations, as well as our district response to these findings. So in the report, the grand jury identified several fundamentals that they considered to be the best development of a safety plan. As you can see, some of the identified fundamentals were site-specific emergency plans, creating a culture of safety, lockdown drills and sheltering in place, evacuation and reunification, identifying and assigning incident command roles, recognizing abnormalities, having situational awareness at all times, and empowering staff to make decisions during emergencies. And through this presentation, you will see that the district actually complies with many of these fundamentals in the process that we have in place for our safety plan.
So we're going to start with the district's disaster and response plans. Also known as the Readiness and Emergency Management for Schools, REMS is going to be the acronym. So we have in the district 7 disaster plans. And note that the CSSP, the Comprehensive School Safety Plan, is not a disaster plan, nor response plan, which is important to note. As far as our response plan, we're going to focus on what we call our REMS guide for schools, which we use the most often in schools. And with that being said, we're going to go to the next slide. CSSPs, safety elements and disaster plans. This is K-12 schools. So our the comprehensive school safety plan is an overall strategic plan and programs. Some of the data used is suspension, suicide prevention pieces, conflict management, crime prevention, bully prevention, internet safety. It went down.
Oh, I know.
So these programs we use.
So
So if you can just wait just a second, what's happening is we're asking them to put it on board docs as the board can't see the presentation well from our vantage point. So they just took it off temporarily so that we could put it on board docs for the board. Okay, so just 1 second.
You can continue.
Okay. So we have multiple departments comprising of the comprehensive school safety plan. One of them is our research department.
Can I have Mr. Omlin speak into the microphone? I'm sorry.
Our site administrators, excuse me. They have the ability to contact our research department and access data for the comprehensive school safety plan. Our disaster plan, again, it's a component of our comprehensive school safety plan. And there's 5 mission areas: prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery. That's our REMS guide for schools. And basically, it's very specific to the roles of staff during emergencies. And I'll just give you an example of some. We have bomb threats. We have parent guardian roles that we send out, active shooter response plans, reunification. We have specific guidelines for reunification. We even include bus accidents, gas leaks, tabletops for staff, lockdown drills and schedules, procedures, reports. At this point, it's approximately a 200-page document. Moving on. So this is going to be the grand jury's findings and recommendations. 2.0, comprehensive school safety plan, safety. Grand jury finding 2.1, the CSSPs failed to identify unique issues for each site and use boilerplate language and template, leaving schools unprepared for an emergency. Recommendation 2.1, the CSSP addresses unique safety issues for the site by March 1st, 2024.
And as a district, we partially disagree with this finding. There is a safety hazard assessment that is included in the emergency operations plan. As Mark has mentioned, it's named REMS with very specific guidelines to these unique issues at each school site. They are not included in the CSSP. However, moving forward, based on this recommendation, we will be including the safety hazard into the CSSP.
Grand jury finding 2.2, the CSSP does not involve teachers, support staff, students, parents when updating the CSSP. Recommendation 2.2, involve teachers, support staff, and parents when updating CSSP by December 15th, 2023.
As a district, we currently do involve the above stated stakeholders in the school site council meetings when a CSSP plan is on the agenda item. And so we've done this practice prior to these findings and we'll continue them moving forward.
Grand jury finding 2.3, school sites do not collaborate with local law enforcement and first responders during annual update of CSSP. Recommendation 2.3, school sites collaborate and receive input from appropriate emergency response agencies by December 15th, 2023.
And as you see, we also disagreed with this finding. As a school district, we do collaborate with various emergency response agencies throughout the year, that including our own department, the Department of Public Safety, and Stockton Fire when they participate in our drills and respond to our fire alarms. Also, these agencies are invited to be present at the school site council meetings when the CSSP is on the agenda for feedback.
I just want to note too, this is a summary of the findings and recommendations. Grand jury finding 2.4, CSSP shows lack of collaboration with local law enforcement agencies, causing confusion and chaos during emergencies.
And again, as mentioned before, we do collaborate with law enforcement and first responder agencies throughout the year. As I mentioned, they are invited to be present for the school site council meetings. And then we do participate with all of our local emergency response agencies in active shooter trainings in the county.
Grand jury finding 2.5, the CSSP does not provide an opportunity for public input during the drafting and approval of the CSSP. Recommendations 2.5, school site council hold an advertised public meeting that provides public an opportunity to express an opinion on the CSSP by February 1st, 2024.
Our district currently follows the practice of allowing public input at the school site council meetings. Again, when the CSSP is on the agenda or through other topics. As required by law, all meeting times, dates, and agendas are posted and made available to the public. And we will be continuing this practice even prior to and moving forward from the findings.
Finding 2.6, the CSSP does not include an assessment of crime status and school-related functions in the CSSP. Recommendations 2.6, the CSSP includes state mandated assessment of crime status and school-related functions by March 1st, 2024.
And again, in this situation, the state lists information types that are required for CSSPs to assess the status of school crime and school-related functions. Some of these being school attendance, property damage, suspension, and expulsion rates. We currently use those in our CSSPs. However, based on the recommendation, we will be adding an accountability piece to have our school site administrator sign the compliance, so attesting that they are complying with these requirements.
Grand jury finding 2.7, CSSP does not adequately address the needs of students with disabilities during emergencies. Recommendation 2.7, schools consult with appropriate professionals to address the needs to students with disabilities when updating the CSSP by March 1st, 2024.
In regards to this finding, we partially disagree with the with the grand jury. So we do not include this information in our CSSPs. However, this is in the emergency operations plan. So the emergency operations plans has specific guidelines for the needs of our special students, especially if they require the assistance of wheelchair, braces, crutches, hearing aids, any disabilities that might be in play. They also consult with their on-site professional that has expertise in these areas when updating the CSSP. So again, we have been implementing this finding prior to the grand jury report, and we'll continue.
Grand jury finding 2.8, the CSSP is not available to the public, or is it posted and reveals confidential information. Recommendation 2.8, make CSSPs available with the exception of confidential information by March 1st, 2024.
In regards to this item, the public can review the comprehensive safety plan at the school site council meetings when it is on the agenda. Also, at any moment, our public can come and ask at the school site and request to review the CSSP, and it would be made available to them. We do not share any of the confidential information, and that's the reason why our safety plan is composed of two, right? The CSSP and the REMS. The REMS is the information that's going to be more confidential that we don't want just released out there. However, based on the recommendations from the grand jury, we will be making efforts to make the CSSP more accessible and available to the public.
Grand jury finding 2.9, CSSP fails to identify incident command roles and individuals who perform the roles. Recommendation 2.9, CSSP include incident command roles and identify who performs each role.
So as a district, we currently follow the National Incident Management System as well as the Incident Command System. All of our key personnel, which includes cabinet level and administrators, are required to complete ICS 100, 200, 700, and 800. The roles and responsibilities for these ICS positions are inside our RIMS manual. However, they do contain confidential contact information for that personnel. So based on the recommendation from the grand jury, we will be including the roles in the CSSP. However, that confidential contact information will be redacted.
Can you give us the acronym for ICS?
Oh, I'm sorry, Incident Command System.
Grand jury finding 2.10, CSSP failed to describe parent reunification system for campus-wide evacuations. Recommendation 2.10, CSSP describe the parent reunification system for campus-wide evacuation by March 1st, 2024.
In regards to this finding, we partially disagreed with the finding with the grand jury. Parent reunification is not included in our CSSP. However, it is in our RIMS manual. We currently use Blackboard as our mass notification system. And again, based on the recommendation that the grand jury made, we will be including information regarding this notification system in the CSSP for the public.
Grand jury finding 2.11, CSSP does not account for specific dangers unique to the school site. Recommendations 2.11 include specific dangers unique to the school site in CSSP by March 1st, 2024.
And in regards to this finding, we as a district disagree with the finding. So the San Joaquin County Office of Education, the San Joaquin County Office of Emergency Services identifies threats specific to San Joaquin County. All of those are included in our emergency guidelines in our CSSPs. Also, in addition to that, each school is required to conduct an annual hazard assessment based specific to the unique issues from their school site. So we will continue with those practices moving forward.
Okay, grand jury finding and recommendations 3.0 training. Grand jury finding 3.2 did not send a representative to the 2022 School Safety Summit. Recommendation 3.2, send one or more representatives to the 2023 School Safety Summit by December 1st, 2023.
We disagreed with this finding. Myself, as well as Marcus, attended the 2022 School Safety Summit, as well as other district representatives, including some of our principals and the PBIS coordinator. We already have representatives registered for the 2023 School Safety Summit, so we will continue this practice.
Grand jury finding 3.4, sites fail to assure substitute staff receive information they will need in an emergency. Recommendation 3.4, develop, adopt, and implement written procedures for substitute staff by September 1st, 2023.
So as a district, we currently have procedures for our substitute teachers and support staff in our RIMS manual. However, based on the recommendation made by the ground jury, we did email this protocol to our administrators to include in the substitute package. And so in addition to the procedure, every classroom has an emergency classroom flip chart, which is available to our substitutes in the event of an emergency.
Grand jury finding 3.5, failed to utilize communication incident command protocols during safety drills. Recommendation 3.5, personnel identified for incident command roles be trained and certified in ICS 100 by November 1st, 2023.
And as mentioned in one of the previous slides, all of our leadership roles and responsibilities are identified in our RIMS manual. All key personnel is assigned to take the 4 ICS courses, and with the completion date of October 1st, 2023 for ICS 100 to gain compliance with this recommendation.
Grand jury finding 3.6, cabinet level positions are not trained in ICS 402. Recommendations, ICS 402 training be completed by district level executives by October 1st, 2023.
So as a district, again, as mentioned, the 4 courses that all of our key personnel are required to complete, including cabinet, we will not be following the recommendation to take ICS 402. And the reason being that ICS 402 is at the basic level. The 4 classes that we require our cabinet level to take actually include the information from 402 and are more advanced coursework in regards to this finding. Also, as well as that, we still have a lot of new personnel within the district that are currently in the process of completing that ICS training.
Grand jury finding 3.7, sites do not vary the time of day drills are conducted, and drills are not conducted when students are not in the classroom. Recommendations 3.7, schedule safety drills on different days, times, and outside the classroom by October 1st, 2023.
And we disagreed with this finding as well. We will be scheduling those safety drills. However, as a practice in the past and moving forward, the district conducts drills at different times of the day, also including when kids are in and outside of the classroom. So testing them in different environments.
Grand jury finding 3.8, sites fail to include support staff in real life roles during safety drills. Recommendations 3.8, schedule safety drills to include support staff and probable emergency roles by October 1st, 2023.
And again, as a district, we currently do implement this practice. All of our drills include all of our staff on our school site, including teachers, administrators, and support staff, and we will continue this practice moving forward.
Grand jury finding 3.9. Sites fail to conduct a post-incident report after drill to identify what went wrong and future changes to improve plans. Recommendations 3.9, create a post-incident report for all drills by October 1st, 2020.
And we partially disagreed with this finding. Our district RIMS manual does have a post-incident crisis debrief and assessment form, which is an expectation that our administrators fill that out after a drill. However, based on this recommendation, we will be adding that to the comprehensive school safety plan as well.
Okay, leads us to 4.0, school site visits. Grand jury finding 4.1, not all sites have check-in procedures followed consistently. Recommendations 4.1, implement an access control program that consistently includes verifying visitors' identity by October 1st, 2023.
And we agreed with this finding. As a district, we don't have a consistent check-in procedure at our school sites. However, we are in the process of implementing a visitor management system that should be in effect fully implemented by November 1st, 2023.
Grand jury finding 4.2, perimeter fencing on an open campus poses security challenges. Recommendation 4.2, develop, adopt, and implement a plan for effective perimeter control of access by March 1st, 2024.
And as a district, we disagreed with this finding. All of our districts operate under a closed campus procedure. And so there is only one entrance and exit point being the front of the school. Further, all of our sites have perimeter fencing to protect the perimeter of the school. And then also thanks to you, the board, we were approved September 12, 2023 for our video access control system, which will be implemented in all of our school sites.
Grand jury finding 4.3, evacuation maps are posted inconsistently and do not show evacuation routes. Recommendation 4.3, school sites post evacuation maps showing exit routes from the You Are Here perspective by September 1st, 2023.
And as a district, we partially disagreed with this finding for the reason that we do have current emergency maps. They are included in the emergency folder for each classroom. However, based on the recommendation, we are in the process of purchasing software to update and enhance these maps, making additional access to where the map can be accessed through the person's mobile phone, making it easier to carry it as well to exit and find evacuation routes.
Grand jury finding 4.4, inconsistent and failure to follow door locking policies to create opportunities for perpetrators to enter the schools. Recommendations 4.4, develop, adopt, and implement a plan for door locking policies by March 1st, 2024.
And as a district, we do have a locked door expectation for all of our classrooms. However, based on the recommendation by the grand jury, we will be developing a procedure for this for our school staff to follow. And right now we are currently in the process of piloting a safe bolt system, which will allow our staff to quickly lock the door from the inside just by the push of a button, which will facilitate a lot of this as well.
Grand jury finding 4.5, flip charts used to identify steps taken in an emergency are not posted in all rooms. Recommendation 4.5, sites post flip charts for emergencies in every classroom and common area by March 1st, 2024.
And again, on this finding, we partially disagreed with the grand jury. Our district does require each classroom to have an emergency flip chart. However, based on this recommendation, we will be taking additional steps on accountability, ensuring that there is a flip chart and that it's updated by the due date.
Grand jury finding 4.6, insufficient window coverings give perpetrators a clear line of sight, creating a risk for students and staff. Recommendation 4.6, ensure window coverings on all windows by March 1st, 2024.
And we partially disagreed with this finding. We do agree that a lack of window coverings creates a risk on our school sites. However, this is very dependent on the unique layout of each school site. And so with that, we will be providing lockdown blinds for our schools. However, this will be done through a site assessment to determine what windows will be the ones that require it. And doing this assessment, we will balance the need for natural surveillance. So that means, you know, the ability for our teachers and our students to be able to look out, right, for potential threats coming to them as well, with the balance of all of our students, staff, and law enforcement safety as well when responding to these threats, knowing what is inside or what they're looking for as well. So really balancing that with the need.
Grand jury finding 4.7, school site just demonstrated multiple maintenance shortcomings which negatively affect safety. Recommendation 4.7, review and discuss findings and recommendations with Board of Trustees at a public meeting by October 1st, 2023.
And we partially disagreed with this finding as well. Our district does maintain our sites regularly and thoroughly. At the beginning of each school year, a point person is assigned to each school site to identify any issues regarding maintenance and safety. And as you see, we are here presenting to you in compliance with the recommendation of the grand jury discussing this safety assessment.
Grand jury finding 4.8, good relationships among staff, parents, and students are vital to identify and address safety concerns.
And we agree with the grand jury in a sense that good relationships do address a lot of safety concerns. However, as a district, we do prioritize good relationships among staff, students, and our parents, and we encourage collaboration and teamwork. And this is demonstrated through our behavioral threat inquiry and other processes that we have within the district.
Grand jury finding 4.9, the school sites visited did not demonstrate meaningful public engagement.
And as a district, we do make every effort to involve our public in the safety planning through the school site councils. However, based on the recommendation from the grand jury, we do believe that more efforts can be made to encourage meaningful engagement from our community. So in conclusion, as you can see in reviewing our response to the grand jury, we have met a lot of the fundamentals that have been identified as being what would be deemed a good safety plan. Again, just reinforcing that we use two documents. We don't just use the comprehensive school safety plan, but we use the REMS manual, which is a more in detail and has all of our confidential information. We don't release that for the reason that we don't want it also to be used against us, right? Because that's going to have our exact procedures on what we expect our staff and students to do in the event of an emergency. And with that, we did provide links for yourselves and for our community. So we have the original grand jury report as well as our response. And we also have the REMS manual table of contents so that you can see, without sharing the confidential information, what is really covered in that plan in detail, because we have everything from earthquake response to active shooter to gas leaks, you know, a lot of the issues that you can think of that would occur in our school district and within our identified county. The other thing that we added was the required state compliance tool. So this is composed through by the state. So they put out this compliance tool stating what are the requirements that a comprehensive safety plan has to have within it. We use this to track exactly what is in our comprehensive safety plan. So we are complying with all of the state requirements in the past and moving forward with it. And with that, also, we wanted to just do a little shout out. We will be having a town hall safety meeting on October 3rd. If you can join us, we will be going more into depth as far as the applications of our safety plans and our updates that our district has done in regards to safety as well, too. So that would be a great opportunity to hear everything that we are working towards safety as our district. And with that, that is the end. If you guys have any questions, I know it was a lot of information to to put in there.
Can I take the, can I?
Yes.
Yes. I wanted to say that you guys work very hard for this, and I know you guys have been working for a long time. Even principals, they have very good judgment and for everything they're going through in the schools. So I want to thank you for the time that you did. And of course, there's things that I hope that the grand jury see, the hard work that you guys have been doing, even before and now. And that way they can see, then start to unify district. We have a new superintendente, and you guys have been here and working with this one before. And I'm very pleased for your response. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And if we can just add to that, definitely safety is at the heart, I think, of both me and Marcus, and like everything, right? We don't just stop here. Safety is ever growing and ever, you know, continuing with new technology. And our focus is to continue to evolve with that as well, too.
I have a question, Chief, for both you and Marcus. So in in F3.6, the ISC training for cabinet, is that hosted by Keenan or is that an online training, or do you guys do it in person for our cabinet members?
It's in person.
Okay,
It's an in-person training.
thank you.
ICS training?
402
Oh,
specifically.
the 402, yes. The 402 specifically is in person. The 4 classes that we actually require, which is the ICS 100, 200, 700.
Those are the ones
800.
I'm referring to.
Yes, those are actually online and they're through the FEMA website. So it's
FEMA.
straight through the federal government.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
For sure. Awesome. Awesome. I have no more questions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now going to move on to item 8.1, public hearing notice adoption of resolution 23-16, determination of sufficient standards aligned textbooks and instructional materials type information. I will now go ahead and open public hearing. And if we can now have a staff report, I see that it's going to be presented by Ms. Euling.
Good evening, all. Good to be up here. I haven't seen you guys in a while up here. So I'm proud to report that we had our Williams visits by the county. This is something that's been in effect since 2004, I believe. And they visit a number of our sites to determine that all of our students have all the adopted curriculum in their hands. And our district passed with flying colors. We had no findings from Williams. They also conduct additional visits, which just happened last week, that have to do with facilities. We haven't received that final report, but this public hearing has to be done for the materials alone. And just to kind of give it a little bit of context, we have over 62 different curriculums. That doesn't count TK, doesn't count electives, doesn't count any of that. 62 of just our core curriculums between K-12. So that's a lot of stuff to make sure that all of our sites have, and that make sure that we have sufficient numbers. So any questions?
Any questions? I see none.
Thank
you, Ewing. I will now open it up for public testimony. I see none. I will now open it up for trustee comments. I see none. I will now go ahead and close the public hearing. We will now move on to item 9.1, which is the board committee reports. And Abby will read the oral announcement and announce each board committee report. And if we can go ahead and keep that to 2 minutes per board member.
This is the opportunity to hear any reports from board committees, specifically regarding prior or upcoming committee meetings. There will be a 2-minute limit per report. First committee report is City of Stockton Parks and Rec from Trustee Donald Donaire.
Good evening, everyone. I was not able to attend to last night's Parks and Rec Commission meeting, but the next meeting is October 23rd, Monday, 5:30 at the City Council Chamber on the second floor of the Stockton City Hall. Thank you.
Next committee is San Joaquin County School Boards Association Executive Committee by Trustee Donald Donaire.
Hello again. So as the legislative session ends at the Capitol in Sacramento in the next few weeks, or is ending, I'll be preparing a report for October's school board meeting so I can report on the legislative bills that Governor Newsom will sign into law. So thank you.
Next committee is 3x3 Committee by Clerk Sofia Colon.
Hello, everyone. So we had our meeting 3x3 yesterday evening here in the boardroom. It was a very productive meeting. We were able to discuss 2 main topics and it kind of centered around safety and traffic and our health and wellness. So our city council members are well aware of some of the situations that we have at many of our school sites with traffic safety. And we talked about some easy solutions to like medium to hard solutions, like what's all on the table. And it seems like we're getting some traction a little bit here on trying to come to a solution for all of our school sites. So we also talked about coming together on a shared project. We're going to be diving into that a little bit more in our next meeting, but it will likely be around traffic safety. We talked about National Walk to School Day, possibly also including some kind of bike riding. So there's lots of activities out there. We were discussing how can we come together and bring it all together under one campaign. So very productive meeting. I was really, really pleased about that. Our next meeting is October the 23rd at 5:30 here in the boardroom.
Thank you. Next committee is 1852 Foundation Committee by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Thank you, Abby. So we met this past Tuesday. We have our final date for our fundraiser. It will be February the 2nd, 2024. So look forward to flyers and invitations for you all to come out and support the work that we do for our students with the foundation. And our next meeting date will be Monday, October 23rd, here in the boardroom at 4 p.m.
Next committee is Curriculum and Student Outcomes Committee by Trustee Donald Donaire.
So we have not met since our August meeting. The next meeting is scheduled Friday, October 27th, 5:30 here in the district boardroom.
Next committee is English Learner Committee by President Angel Ann Flores.
Our next committee meeting is going to be on November 7th. And I look forward to the survey results that were sent out and get an update on our partnership with Stanislaus. And so I'm looking forward to getting information on that and then a reclassification update as well at our next English Language Learners Committee here in our boardroom.
Thank you. The next committee is Equity Diversity Committee by President Angel Ann Flores.
And that next committee meeting is going to be scheduled on October 4th. We did have it scheduled for tomorrow, but we do have a conference that we're going to be attending, so we had to reschedule it to October 4th.
Next committee is Safety and Student Conduct Committee by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
No new update. Our next meeting is October 19th here at the district at 5:30 p.m. But before that, we have October 3rd, which will be the Safety Town Hall. That'll be in President Flores's area over at Hamilton Elementary. So looking forward to seeing you all at the Safety Committee Town Hall.
Next committee is Board Policy Committee by President Angel Ann Flores.
Our next committee meeting is scheduled for October 26th. We did have our first meeting. So I want to thank all of the presidents of our unions that showed up and represented. We were able to kind of just come on and get on one page so that we all understand that we are here for students and what do we need from each prospective departments to ensure that we are reaching student achievement through our roles and our responsibilities that we do here day in and day out.
Next committee report is Budget Oversight Committee by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Sure. Our next meeting is Monday, October 2nd at 4 p.m. here at the boardroom. Looking forward to seeing you all.
Next report is Transformative Justice Committee by Clerk Sofia Colon.
And hello, everyone. So our next Transformative Justice Committee meeting was scheduled during our fall break and we rescheduled it. And I apologize that I don't at this time know our rescheduled date, but I'll make sure to get that for next time. We look forward to talking about more reports. We talked about some of our the DOJ reporting, and so we'll continue that discussion. Thank you.
Next report is Black Students Thrive Committee by Vice President Kenita Stevens.
Thank you. So we will be hosting our Student Speak event on October 18th. We have a tentative date. We don't have a flyer. I believe the time will be 5:30 p.m. at the Amelia Adams Whole Life Center. So look forward to more of that information. Also with the group, we created a portal so that organizations that want to support and work with the district, they now have a portal to register and hopefully become a part of the district, either through an MOU or RFP process.
Next committee report is Board President Roundtable Standing Subcommittee by President Angel N. Flores.
So I misunderstood. The last comment that I made was related to the Board President Roundtable. And so I'm going to correct it. The Equity Committee meeting is also scheduled for October 26th. They are both scheduled on the same day, different times. So you come in at 4 o'clock and just plan to be here until 6:30. Thank you.
Trustees, this concludes board committee reports. Thank you.
Forgot I was up here again. Okay, 9.2, brief reports on trustees' activities, and Abby will read the oral announcement, and Christina will be the timekeeper. And for time's sake, we'll go ahead and reduce that 3 minutes to 2 minutes, please.
This is the opportunity for each trustee to make a brief announcement or give a brief report on their own recent activities at the district pursuant to the Brown Act, Government Code Section 54954.2A3. There will be a 2-minute limit per report. Thank you.
I will go ahead and start from my left, trustee Mendez.
I would like to thank everybody for coming today to the board meeting. I'm very excited, the presentation by safety today. I know that everybody works very hard and everybody, sometimes nobody give you that push and they say you did a good job. I think that everybody in the district is trying their best. It's very sad that other agencies are not seeing that, but I do believe on the power of people and what they do. Also, I wanted to tell you about the San Joaquin book. A parent gave it to me. They were very, very excited about what the superintendent did. It was really translated perfectly. Not only that, I received several, the 23 calls. I met with parents from different schools. In the parking lot, we have some coffee outside. And we have a fantastic, the parents in the area looks very happy. They are welcoming the superintendente. I see also another one that is in the Latino Times. I was very impressed. Parents were talking and they were seeing a lot of stuff in Spanish. And I would like very much, the superintendent to continue bringing us the speaking in the Spanish than she does. People appreciate it. People really appreciate it. And thank you so much for your time. And thank you everybody for coming today.
Trustee Zulueta.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. I want to talk about the activities of the week, but it's kind of been a heavy week. We've had, quite a bit of tragedy this week, not only in our Hoover community, but also in our Franklin High community. And so I'm going to just leave the rest of my time with just saying that, hopefully we can lift up those communities as well as our greater Stockton community and Stockton Unified community. And, also just remember to try to reach out where you can and when you can. Our students and our families, they're going through quite a bit right now, as is our city. And we need all the prayers and support that we can get. Thank you.
Trustee Rico.
Good evening, all. Thanks for being here today. I'm sorry I can't talk. I just want to ask for a small prayer for the student from Franklin who passed away. Thank you.
Vice President Stevens.
Sure. So I concur with both of my colleagues. There has been a lot of tragedy. I think in this 2 week, I've walked by yellow tape twice. This week, the suffering of our young people and the trauma that they're experiencing, it is a lot here in the city. And I just want to preface the 1852 Foundation. We are looking to support our families above what we can do here as a district. If you have time to give to some of the activities that we'll be hosting for the community, we do ask that you come out and give up your time, bring out your family, because it is a lot. Just right down the street, we had a tragedy in my own neighborhood. We had a tragedy. So times are really tough for our children. And we just want to make sure that we can show them love and give them the best that we can at all times. And with that being said, I do have an activity that I'm hosting Friday, October 13th. I'm partnering to do trunk or treat in the parking lot of Sherwood Mall from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Would like to get some of our departments to come out as well to support our young people who are looking for activities to do out on a Friday night. So you'll hear more about that once the flyer gets in your hands. And I'll pass it back to you, Madam President.
Trustee Donald Tenner.
So I'll just quickly share some of the school events and site visits that I was able to do in the past 2 weeks. I was able to join the Stag School Farm groundbreaking ceremony. It was really beautiful. Shout out to Krista Van Ness and Nathan Haley for that beautiful event. I also got to visit Cleveland Elementary and Hazleton Elementary with Dr. Rodriguez. Our next school site visit in Area 5 will be in Washington next month. And then I do want to give a special shout out to the chairperson for African American Black Parent Advisory Committee, Thaddeus Smith III, for nominating me to the scholarship for a workshop that's being hosted by the Edunomics Lab at Georgetown University. The workshop is called Wild Ride Ahead. It's a 4-part virtual workshop, which will focus on district finances post-ESSER. And I just want to read the description for you just to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about. A close read of the district financial statements from across the country warns of financial havoc for the next 3 years. Never before have leaders faced such competing priorities, spend down relief dollars in ways that bring value for students, while also bracing for budget gaps unlike any in history. Decisions made now come with big consequences for downstream financial solvency, teacher and staff layoffs, school closures, and ultimately for students. So I'm really looking forward to learning a lot from this 4-part workshop. And again, shout out to Mr. Thaddeus Smith. Thank you.
Clerk Cologne.
Right, thank you, everyone. So I'm happy to report I was able to visit all my school sites in Area 6. And just want to highlight really quickly, I was able to read with Miss Sandoval's kindergarten class at August School. It was such a treat. We read How Do Apples Grow by Betsy Maestro. And I had to get that book for myself because it was such a cute read, very captivating and engaging on how apples grow. In the community, I was happy to hold my coffee with Trustee Cologne. Took my family out to Family Day in the Park. I also attended a town hall, our town hall on engagement. So I was really happy to see so many different stakeholders attending and the discussions that were happening. This past week or last week, I attended the first of 5 training sessions with CSBA, which is our Master's in Governance course. The first is Foundations of Effective Governance. So I'm really looking forward to completing those by the end of this year. And upcoming, at the end of this week, I'll be attending with some of my colleagues here, the California Latino School Board Association Conference. So looking ahead to some of the topics on community schools, data-driven decision-making and educational reform, amongst others. There's so many options to choose from. So I'm looking forward to that. And then lastly, I just want to encourage everyone, if you haven't already, to please watch the movie A Million Miles Away about NASA astronaut Jose Hernandez. It is very moving, to say the least. We know him here. He's a local legend from Stockton, graduated from Franklin High School and UOP. I've taken my children to see him speak. Quiet confidence is one way I would describe him. Just to have an example of a person who is just diligent. So go see it. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to hold a moment of silence for the student that we did lose from Franklin. So we can just do a minute of silence for him. Thank you. I was able to attend the Delta community college gala. And so I was able to speak with the president and some of the political science teachers there. And so if we can arrange some meetings with the teachers, they would definitely like to collaborate with us and see how their students at Delta can join our district in either mentorship or learning how we can grow our political science programs. And then I was also able to attend Family Day in the park. And I was also able to attend the CTE event that we had, which was a great event. I wore heels, which I made a mistake of wearing those, but now I know for the next one. But they had a lot of great events. Some students were getting hired on the spot right out of high school. So when they finish this year, they'll have a job in the trades already. And then I look forward to having more conversations about the air navigation program with Gary McCoy from the Tuskegee Airmen. And I'm hoping to have more conversations about that pretty soon. I think that that program right there trains students how to do drone soccer. And then after high school, they train them how to take the FAA test. And so right out of high school, they'll be able to go into being a pilot, making $70,000-$80,000 a year. So I look forward to creating a partnership with the San Joaquin County Supervisors. If we can reach out to Miguel Villapudua and his assistant, Chris Rupe. And I also know that David Varela also has an air navigation program, and I promise I'm going to get there soon. But that is another opportunity that I think that we are missing out on. I'm not catching up to that quicker. I also want to acknowledge our students and the tragedies that have been facing our students in our district and just our city as a whole. We also had a shooting down in Sierra Vista, which is in my community. And so let's just keep all of us in prayers and do our best to remain diligent in keeping our students safe. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 9.3. Approval of expenditures for Stockton Unified School District board members to attend the California Association for Bilingual Education, CABE, annual conference in Anaheim, California on Wednesday, February 21, 24 to Saturday, February 24, 24. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion, Cecilia Mendez first.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Can I get a roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
No.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with no vote coming from Trustee Zulueta.
Moving on to item 9.4, approval of an out-of-state conference expenditure for Stockton Unified School District board members to attend the National Association for the Bilingual Education, known as NABE, annual conference in New Orleans, Louisiana on Wednesday, March 27, 24 to Saturday, March 30th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion first, Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Can I get a roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
No.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with a no vote coming from Trustee Zulueta.
Can I get a motion to approve out-of-state conference expenditure for Stockton Unified School District board members to attend the National School Board Association, NSBA annual conference in New Orleans, Louisiana on Saturday, April 6, 2024 to Monday, April 8th, 24. Can I get a motion to approve?
I will make a motion first, Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Can we get a roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
No.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with no vote coming from Trustee Zulueta.
Moving on to item 9.6, approval of minutes, July 25th, special board study session meeting. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion first, Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second?
Second Stevens.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
No.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion carries 6-1 with a no vote coming from trustee Rico.
Moving on to item 10.1, which is the superintendent's report by Dr. Michelle Rodriguez, superintendent.
Yeah, thank you. So again, I want to extend our condolences to our students' family. It has had a significant impact on SUSD. Today, when I went out to Franklin, I do want to recognize the entire team that was out there supporting not only our students, but also our staff and administrators. So I just want to publicly thank Karen Coleman, Marianne Santella, Brian Biederman, Anna Lottie, and our Department of Public Safety for being out there and supporting our staff, students, and community as we continue to heal. So thank you so much. It's already been mentioned, but we do have our last of 5 town halls. So it is going to be on public safety, on safety. And so I hope you can come out, because I do want to say, and you'll see later on tonight and for the last couple board meetings and the future board meetings, how much Chief Franco, her whole department, and Marcus Omlin, how diligent they are working to ensure that we are addressing the safety needs here in Stockton Unified. And so I just want to publicly thank them as well for the work that they're doing. I encourage you, if you have concerns, to come out and listen, because they're going to do a 30-minute presentation that's going to really highlight the important work that they've been doing. And lastly, I'm really excited. So if we can put it up, I'm really excited. As most people know, my 100 days is quickly coming forward. And so because of that, the state of the district, the save the date is coming out soon. And so it will be Wednesday, October 18th, because we want to make sure that we can have about 200 people there, but at really no cost to us. We are going to be having it at Franklin High School. And so we encourage people to come out and hear about the state of the district. So we'll focus on my 4 key areas and provide not only accolades and strengths of what we are doing well and what we'll continue to do, but it's also going to provide areas of opportunity and priority recommendations. And so thank you all, and we will continue to do good work for our students, families, and community.
Moving on to item 10.2, approval to purchase the story evacuation chair for Stockton Unified School District. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion, Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danier,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 10.3, approval to purchase ICU Technologies paging intercom and bells upgrade for emergency preparedness. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion, Cecilia Mendez.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danier,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Can I get a motion to approve 10.4, ratification of the legal services agreement with Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost LLP for the 23-24 school year? All motion to approve. Can I get a second?
Second Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danier,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
I'm staying.
trustee Zulueta,
No.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes 5 with 1 abstention from trustee Rico and 1 no vote coming from trustee Zulueta.
Moving on to item 10.5. Can I get a motion to approve of the reorganization proposal for the Stockton Unified School District's Department?
Oh, yeah, I like to motion to approve this for more discussion and bring it back to the next meeting.
I second.
Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Are you changing the order of the agenda? You changing it?
Bring it to the next meeting.
We're not voting today for this? No.
Trustee Rico,
I'm staying.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion to table agenda item 10.5 passes with 5, 1 no vote from Trustee Mendez and 1 abstention from Trustee Rico.
Moving on to item 11.1, adoption of resolution 23-16, determination of sufficient standards, aligned textbooks and instructional materials following a public hearing for the 23-24 school year. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second, Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 11.2, approval of the contracts with FACS Education Solutions as a third-party contractor to provide equitable services on behalf of private schools. All Saints Academy of Stockton, Annunciation of the Cathedral, St. Luke's Catholic Elementary, and St. Mary's High School identified in their 23-24 equitable services plan for the 23-24 school year. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll
Motion.
I'll motion.
I'll second, Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
I'm sorry, who motioned?
Motion by
Colon?
Cologne.
And Vice
Seconded
President
by
Stevens.
Stevens.
Okay. Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 11.3, approval of an agreement to furnish consultant and program services with ProSolve for enrichment learning curriculum and student licenses and expanded learning opportunities program known as ELOP. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
I
Second.
second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 11.4, approval of purchase agreement with Solution Tree to furnish professional development consultant services for all school sites and district office administrators for the 23-24 school year. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 11.5, approval of an agreement to furnish consultant services with consortium on reaching excellence in education core with K-5 intervention teachers. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Can I get any discussion? Roll call vote?
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 11.6, approval of an agreement to furnish consultant services with Tri Group Inc. for the Educational Services Division. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 12.1, individual teacher materials allocation. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second Stevens.
Any discussion? I would just like to say that I'm very happy to see this on the agenda because I've been hearing a lot about this. And I know that some of my school sites are still reaching out to me saying that they haven't received any supplies this year. So thank you. Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
And if there's ever any funding to give them some more again, can we try again to see if we can find some budget in it for them? Thank you. Moving on to item 12.2, approval of amended agreement to furnish consultant services with Tri Group Inc. for the Human Resources Department. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
No.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with a no vote from Trustee Zulueta.
Moving on to item 12.3, transportation manager job description update. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second Stevens.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
No.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1 with no vote coming from Trustee Zulueta.
Moving on to item 12.4, adoption of resolution number 23-27 for the 23-24 provisional internship permits. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 12.5, adoption of resolution number 23-25, approval for certificated employees to teach outside of credential authorization. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item 12.6, adoption of resolution number 23-32, waiver request, variable term waiver. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Denier,
Yes.
Trustee Mendez,
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
Trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.1, approval of amendment number 1 to the professional inspection services agreement with A+ Inspection Services, Inc. for the Van Buren Elementary School Play Structure Installation Project. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
Trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez.
Yes.
Trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Item 13.2, approval of amendment number 3 and change order number 3 to the independent contractor agreement with KYA Services LLC for the Van Buren Elementary School Play Structure Installation Project. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.3, approval of amendment number 2 to the agreement for architectural services with Jaravi Castellanos Architects for the Arthur Coleman Junior Parking Lot Expansion Project. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll make the second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.4, adoption of resolution number 23-26 to adopt the appropriations limit recalculation and the 22-23 estimated appropriations GAN limit. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
13.5, adoption of resolution number 23-28 to update the delegation of power for signing contracts effective September 27th, 2023. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on, item 13.6, approval of resolution number 23-30, certifying the election results for 2022. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.7, adoption of resolution number 23-31, establishing Citizens Oversight Committee and its bylaws for Measure C. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.8, approval of AB 1200 financial public disclosure forms regarding CSEA 885. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion. Cecilia Mendez.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danair,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
Yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores,
Yes, and for the record, if we take a look at this item, it says that it was prepared by Joanne Wattis, received by Dr. Rodriguez, and my name is not on this, so this directly comes from our staff, and this has nothing to me saying we need to reward anybody for coming to work. So my vote is yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Item 13.8. Oh, no, never mind. Moving on. 13.9. Approval of the AB 1200 for confidential and unrepresented. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion,
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens.
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danier,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to item 13.10, approval of the vendor payments issued for the month of July 2023 as presented. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion,
Can I get a second?
Second Stevens?
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Vice President Stevens,
Yes.
Clerk Colon,
Yes.
trustee Danier,
Yes.
trustee Mendez,
yes.
trustee Rico,
Yes.
trustee Zulueta,
Yes.
President Flores.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
And we will now move to adjournment at 7:09.
May I ask President and the clerk to stay behind for signatures, please?
Sure.
Thank you.